Okay, I think it's 3:30 and call this meeting to order. Wendy, you want to do the roll call?
North.
Here.
Beckman.
Here.
Here.
Silence the cell phone, put it away during the duration of the meeting. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I move to approve, excuse me, the agenda of the December 19th meeting.
No.
January 6th.
We need
Oh,
the...
it is January.
Yeah.
the agenda.
Okay, I'll be fine. I'll second.
Okay, motion by Blank and second by North to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Approval of the minutes from December 19, 2024. Can I get an approval, a request for approval?
I move we approve the meeting of December 19th, 2024. I'll second.
I got a motion by Blank, a second by North to approve the meeting of December 19th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Okay. Unfinished business, none. New business, election of chair and vice chair, roll call vote.
Okay, I move we make Eric Beckman the chair and Kathy North the vice chair. I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Plank to make Beckman the chair and North the vice chair. Roll call vote.
Verplank.
Yes.
North.
Yes.
We're all got that going on, don't we?
I thought we already did that, or was that for last?
That was
Is
for last year. You know, we had a new
For that
year.
5
Yeah,
minutes?
for that 5 minutes, yep. Now we need to schedule a hearing for 6545 Clearbrook Drive appeal.
May I
Yes,
give you
please.
some insight? So there was some incomplete information from the original appeal that was submitted. So as a courtesy, we had mentioned two things. The check had to be straightened out. Check couldn't be made out to the fire district. Procedures, it goes to the township, and then they send a check to us. That was corrected real soon. We also noted that according to the appeal, they did not fill out what codes were going to be appealed. The attorneys got a correspondence on December 20th. And you meet within 30 days. Well, here's the problem. I had 2/3 of my staff on vacation. We lost at least 4 days. So, you know, January 20th isn't going to happen, in my opinion, because Jane, I believe, is going to be gone. In the municipalities, one of the things I was going to ask you to do today is go back to your jurisdictions and ask them per the memo to appoint Scott Phelps as the at-large. If they don't want to do that, then they have to appoint the alternate fire board member. So in your case, Taru, Stacy, Dan Fox. So that's something just to consider as well. So back to the date setting the hearing, my recommendation would be we reach out to the attorney and ask for, you know, somewhere after the 25th when Jane returns. Because they won't be able to make a motion to approve this till their 3rd or 4th week in January. So we'll pass that January 20th. So you can set, we've done it before, we set the hearing date at this annual meeting in January. We've done that before.
Okay, so when do we want the hearing date to be?
Well, I would imagine that, let me look at my calendar.
Well, we got a chicken and egg thing going on here, right? We need to have an alternative member if we need to get within this January 20th, because the member will be, but all the meetings don't take place until after the 20th, correct? Like township,
Correct.
cities.
We have a meeting tonight. Can I add that to the agenda, even though it's not on there?
Yes.
Is it a workshop or a meeting?
No, it's a meeting.
Okay, yeah, you could.
And we're doing other board
Business,
decision approval.
sure. So you could do that.
I'll try and do that.
Our
Call it housekeeping.
recommendation was Scott Phelps, because he doesn't represent any one municipality, and primary reason, he has experience.
Yeah.
We just can't put somebody who's been on the fire board for a while. You learn and understand hazards, you learn why there's codes, why we do what we do, what we've done as patterns and historically. So that's why we're cautious about that. And this time we're really emphasizing and pleading with the municipalities, you need to appoint alternates. If they aren't receptive to the at-large member, then it would go next to the jurisdictional already appointees. So,
It won't be a problem for us.
I'll call Holly.
so as far as the
And
20th,
then I'll talk to Stacy about when
When
their
do they-
next
when do
meeting
they
is.
meet?
I don't know.
They only meet once a month,
The
so.
third Wednesday or something like that?
which one, city?
No,
No.
Township.
Township actually has a meeting tomorrow, but it's not, that's not,
Yeah.
that's actually called, a whole committee meeting. It's a new name that the lawyer came up with. It's essentially this, it's a workshop. It's like our 4 o'clock, a workshop meeting.
But when is their
Regular.
monthly, regular meeting?
They're the second week and
The second.
second Wednesday.
So that
Okay,
could
so that would be that.
Potentially be done.
Yeah, it can
When
be
is the city?
next Monday, so.
Okay, so we could be done with
By the
getting
time the
appointed,
fire board-
approved by next Wednesday.
Right.
Right, so when would you want to have the hearing?
How long are you out of town?
I'm out of town from the 15th to the 25th.
So you can get it done, you do it Wednesday.
Yeah.
Excuse me a minute, I'm gonna grab my calendar.
Township does it the 15th. We could do it as early as probably the 27th.
Sure.
Would that work, Ken?
Mhm, yep. Unfortunately, I'm here.
Me too.
I'm going on vacation, when does that ever happen?
Yeah, and as soon as you get back, you're right back here, right? So Chief, looking at the schedule, we're thinking January 27, which is a Monday. That should give them ample time to,
Yeah,
we can check their schedule. I
Okay.
mean, we can
so we'd like to
accommodate.
propose January 27th, and what time would you like?
4 o'clock works.
January 27th at 4 o'clock, okay. Do you want the district attorney present?
What do you think?
Are they having an attorney present?
Is this just to present, sign?
This is the hearing, so you don't have to make a decision, but it's, I'm assuming they're gonna have their attorney here.
It's-
Actually, it'll be held at the township.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what we
yeah,
wanna
yeah,
know.
that's,
Right, I would imagine they'll have an attorney here.
well, we probably should.
I would recommend you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would make
Present.
sense.
We had in the past.
Will we have Andy or Jeff?
Andy. That's what I was told. But I can confirm that at your direction.
But we won't render a decision that night because it has to be in writing.
Yeah, we won't, we never did, then we would meet again with our,
Because according to the bylaws, it has to be written
yeah.
in writing.
Right, yeah. As I remember, this decision was made and we followed up with it in writing. Aaron made it, but whatever.
Is that feasible? I mean, and then it's put to bed,
I'll clarify that.
yeah.
I don't think-
we should rush it.
No,
I don't think
Yeah.
it looks good, if you,
No.
sorry, but
Yeah.
What's the-
optics again.
What's the timeline?
I think that 7 days after the hearing, we have to have,
We have to write up our answer to their appeal, based on what we learned at this whole
do, side note, do we have a description of what the Board of Appeals actually does, or their scope of their authority?
right,
Because I think it would be important for the, can I call them plaintiff,
their applicant.
So
To
essentially,
understand that this is what it is.
I can help you out with that.
I hate to say it, but just doing a quick look over it.
Sure. So,
This
as-
sounds like it's gonna be lawyer stuff.
In the
I mean,
memo, what it is, the application for the appeal shall be based on a claim that the intent of this code or the rules legally adopted hereunder have been incorrectly interpreted, or the provisions of the code do not fully apply, or an equivalent method of protection or safety is proposed. You have no authority to weigh the requirements of this code. As you know, I'm a member of the Board of Appeals, I just don't vote.
Right.
So, you've got three things. Did we interpret it incorrectly? And that's on page 1 of your memo.
Right.
The provisions of this code do not fully apply, or an equivalent method of protection or safety is proposed. So you have to look at it and say, access, what has been offered to substitute for the access restrictions that they're against. According to okay, they are appealing the following codes, and I don't
Yeah.
expect you to know this, but just FYI, 50321, the apparatus access road must be 20 feet wide, and 13.6 vertical clearance across the road width. Okay. Next one, 50323, the driveway must support an 80,000-pound load. This is what we've done.
502,
So 503.2.1, 503.2.3, 503.2.5, 503.2.7, 505.1, 3310.1.
I guess before going into this, instead of each one of us having the IFC Bible, if those the numbers that you just read off, if we could get those on one page, or 2 pages, or whatever it takes, so we can refer to that as we're going through this, instead of trying to dig through the...
No,
I
we
think
don't
I've
need to.
seen that IFC Bible, I mean, it's that thick.
We can provide you what that code is
Code, yeah.
essentially. So the first one is it's gotta be 20 feet wide and have a vertical clearance of 13.6. That's so you don't clip
Right.
the top of the truck. Second one is it has to support the imposed loads of 80,000 pounds, the aerial. That's the heaviest truck. This is the way we actually field test every one of these driveways. That has to be waived. Turnaround required for dead-end driveways. The code says when you exceed 150 feet, you don't have to back down. There has to be a turnaround provided, certain dimensions.
It's 250, right? The driveway is 200?
No, I think it's more like 700 feet.
Oh, well.
It's crazy that, I
Is it-
tried to figure out where this place was.
yeah, is it possible to get a map?
So,
I
here's what I'm going
Google
to,
Earthed it, it's hard to figure out which one they're talking about.
so, can you take care of that, please?
Yeah, you should.
Well, they're public, they can come.
Yeah, they can sit in the public.
They can sit in the public, Wendy, they can sit up here, don't get halfway up and go back down. Our knees
Oh,
are...
hey, Scott, sorry, I didn't.
Oh, it's Scott, yeah.
I thought it was my staff.
No.
So,
Just sit in the public. We're having a
Our
Right.
Board of Appeals
You'll be
meeting.
part of the public.
Yeah.
yeah.
so what was your question again?
What I'd like to do is have...
We'll give you that.
Yeah, that's all I want, so
Right.
we know what we're referring to and
Right.
understand that instead of like...
And we're also gonna give you past correspondence, but where I was going with it is, when I send this email to the attorney, I'm gonna send a request, I'm gonna require you to go out to the site and see it. You don't see it, all you're gonna see from an aerial overhead is
Yeah.
kind of a 2-track with trees grown over. what I want you to experience is what we've done on some of these. I've actually taken board members in the trucks and say, here, what do you want to do? The last one was Stacy Aldridge out by Pine Trail Camp. Show me what you want me to do with this 12-foot road. So that is...
That's not unusual, I think I did it with Boss Craft.
Right.
Went out there with...
Right, we've taken people out at different times. It's simpler to do it all three. There's no decision made, but I don't want to, you have to have three people so I can do two in one. But I want to officially get permission from the property or let them know this has to happen. Because we can give you overheads and everything, we didn't feel was appropriate right now, more of an annual meeting and schedule, but we can, what we would like to do, that's why we don't want to rush into it either, is to educate and inform you what we have on the site and what they're proposing, and how do you feel about that? So, the maximum grade, that's a flat driveway, grade isn't gonna be a problem. And then, one of the issues we have is, the address is Clearbrook. They're not alone, this happens, the address is of Clearbrook, you don't get to Clearbrook, you can't use Clearbrook to get to the house.
Kathy, I've lived on Clearbrook Drive for 27 years now.
Yeah.
And when this came up, I had no idea where it was. And even when I went to look for it,
Isn't
couldn't
it, don't
find
you go
it.
like down behind Dollar General?
Yeah, but there's no access from Clearbrook Road, in my opinion.
Correct.
And we'll...
Well, it's private, and there, you can't drive into
No.
it because there's trees blocking the way.
I guess why are they appealing the grade if that isn't an issue? Did we say something about the...
It's because we use consistency. Every driveway must meet the imposed loads, vertical clearance, road width, all those things. So to omit the grade would be inconsistent.
Okay.
So we have to include the grade. And then the final one is that the apparatus access road has to be installed prior to construction. So, not common to have all these, but they all apply to access.
When are they planning to begin construction in the perfect world?
I think we've been working on this for a year and a half, I don't know.
My only concern here, and that's why I want them to understand the scope of this board, is because we're talking about the Fair Housing Act also. Comparing, we are not judges, we don't know the law. I can't speak for these. So I want them to understand, you know, we're not gonna judge on the Fair Housing Act. We're only gonna judge on the IFC interpretation from
Right.
what
The
you-
parameters that are
Yes.
pointed out in that were captured in this. Did we interpret it wrong? Did they not apply? Does the sprinkler system offset the need for access? Let me give you one other example of a modification. We modified the code under certain circumstances. We can't limit or reduce things, but, for example, say we have a driveway that's 160 feet long. Well, it's 150 feet. We use a 10% allowance. Either way, 10 foot, we're not gonna make somebody do it, 10%. Does that make sense? So we do have that. We also, if there is more than one house on the driveway, it goes to 20 feet. That's construed as shared. Only one single-family dwelling would be 16 feet. We allowed the 16 feet even though there were two houses on the road. So we did allow some modifications. Turnaround, I think, was modified. But their position is, well, there's hydrants there. Our position is, that has nothing to do with medicals. We kind of, you know that to begin with. So, these are the things that we're trying to work with. We don't want to get involved in ADA. Somebody else, if ADA wants to make that decision in the Housing Act, that's fine.
But that doesn't trump the fire code, does it?
Well, that's the
We're
question.
not sure.
Okay, but
That's
that's
a
not
question.
a...
That might be the Supreme Court, for all I know.
Well, I would think it would be more stringent
Yes.
than the fire code, so.
All I know is when I look at our station, I look at Meyer, anywhere I go, all I know is access is paramount for handicapped, for ADA. There are wider spots, sometimes like ours has a van discharge next to it, it's in front, it's close, it's not, so this is very strange to me, but I understand their viewpoint to a point, but to me, if you are handicapped, boy, I'd sure like to be able to get to you. And we all know some of the experiences we've had with going on somebody else's property. Emergency-wise, okay, but to plan it that way, I'm not gonna make that decision. I'm gonna follow the code like I have for the 23 years I've been here. And if somebody else wants to make that decision that it's okay, then that's on them.
Well, I guess if you'd rather spend the money on going to court than building a driveway, I mean,
Yeah,
that's what it kind of...
we did everything we could.
Because you're gonna build the driveway.
But what we would do an on-site visit and show it to you, as we did with the township manager, the zoning administrator, and the building official at the time. We took all three of them there and say, you know, what do you think? So we walked over there and took a
Do
look
we do
at
this
it.
before this hearing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you'll let
I've
them-
done it just about like the water supply, Van Horn, we've done it with all of them. Just so you can make a better, you have a better understanding of what we have,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, we went out, took pictures, drove around.
Yeah.
You need to
You have
see it
to.
so you can think about it, and maybe even come up with some alternatives for them,
Right.
which we've done before, so...
Yes.
But as a Board of Appeals, we're not gonna come up with alternative for them.
No, but if it happens to come up,
Right.
like...
I keep on going back to, I want them to understand what our role here is, and it's
Right.
limited.
Right.
We-
You'll see from
we are
the
looking
lawyer's
at-
memo, you'll see that,
Exactly.
you know, that's not up to the Board of Appeals.
I don't want the Lambs to expect that, you know, we are the Supreme Court of Michigan.
No.
But that's like, when we did the buildings over here, there was an as-built under the highway they weren't aware of. They were claiming it was so expensive to take water there, and there was an as-built there, and it wasn't expensive to take.
The water was there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so,
We're usually very creative at coming up with alternatives. This isn't our first time we've done this, but we're at a standstill on this. We have never approved any project where the access was with somebody else's house.
Even though they kind of, sort of gave permission, but they won't do it in writing.
If we had an easement, that's our way out. We have an easement that's irrevocable, that is continuous.
Depending on who owns the
Correct.
property. or-
Irrespective of the owner, it's transferable. An easement that's transferable, we're good with that. Because, okay, we know we can pull on there, and no matter who owns it, really, they can't do anything. Legally, you have the right to park wherever you want, but to plan it that way, to approve construction that way, then I think you need to change all the zoning ordinances in each municipality that you don't need access, you don't need a driveway.
Well, if you start using other people's property or driveways and things like that, you better hope that they're taking care of that, or they're not gone for the winter and there's 4 feet of snow in that. So that's a challenge I see with that.
Good
Right.
point.
Because, you know, that's one of the reasons we have a minimum width, because if you have a 16-foot width and on the lake shore you have snow, it becomes narrower. It becomes narrower. Well, the average fire truck is at least 8 feet wide. Some are 9 feet. So how do you hook a hose off the side and pass? Again, this isn't a 150, 160-foot driveway. This is far longer than that. That's why the concern.
So you will let the plaintiffs know that we'd
Yep.
like to look at the property
Yep.
and go out there and take a peek.
And schedule the hearing for January 27th at 4 o'clock.
If there's any conflicts, let us know.
Yep.
well, hopefully I'll be out of the Denver airport by then. You never know.
You'd think they'd be used to it. We good? Moving on?
Can't wait till we get to
Public comment.
because they
You know
look-
what?
they
This
look
is a
very
record.
engrossed. They look very engrossed in it.
This is more people than I've ever seen at one of our fire board meetings.
I wanted to take.
We set a record here.
Back there on their.
I'd ask for IDs if I were you.
I'm assuming.
We're coming up there, but you can come back here and sit while we do that.
Yeah, we'll go back there. and
That's
watch.
good.
Board of Appeals comments? Okay.
No
Yeah.
comment. Oh, wait, do we get to ride in a fire truck when we go out there?
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Okay, cool.
With a lights and siren, no.
it'd be cost recovery for Douglas.
They stink.
Yeah,
Just
most
want
of
you to
them.
know, they really stink.
Well, I guess with that, get a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Okay, we're adjourned.
Thank you.